Okay, Bismillah. And thus we have explained the vision of the oneness of being. We have explained the very structure of all things. And we have explained the rules of threes. That everything begins in a singularity. Everything begins in a seed. Then everything gives rise into the generations. It splits, it fractures like a fractal and generates upon itself. There is principle, there is generation. And the totality of that generation is structure. Ontology, ontogeny, ontography. Principle, generation, structure. Spirit, mind, matter. Do you see? Letter, etymology, word. Word, grammar, sentence. Sentence, logic, speech. Number, arithmetic, or perhaps one, arithmetic, number. Number, arithmetic, algebra. Do you see how this works? This system, the rule of threes, describes everything which exists. It is the most powerful system of logic because it's not something which man has invented. It is God. It is how God has described himself. That is the deep structure, the deep secret of being. Now, what concerns us in this treatise, in this course, the unity of becoming, is to know ourselves, to know thyself, to know the mystery and the structure of your being, which is to know thy spirit, therefore thy mind, therefore thy body. If you can understand the seed from whence a tree was born, and you can understand the entire structure of its generations, therefore will you understand the entire tree. You will know why every branch has branched out and is clothed with that leaf which clothes it. You will know its entire shape, its body, its structure, and understand why it is. And if you could understand the principles upon which the heavens and the earth are founded, and you knew those words which God spoke unto the rose to make it to flower, and those words which God spoke unto the water to make it into rivers, and the seas, and the tides, to split the days into seasons. If you knew such things, then would you not know the very mysteries of creation? Would you not know why everything which has come to be came to be, and upon what principle everything has happened? So do the same for yourself. So do the same to understand yourself, which begins thus. You must understand your principle. You must understand the root of your being. You must know your singularity. And that is what we mean by spirit. It is the principle of the self. Being in self, the spirit, aloneness. Oneness is known only in aloneness. For when thou art alone from the world, then art thou one with thyself. For the self is the oneness of thy being, and thine aloneness is thy singularity. For so have we said that the absolute origin and principle and root of yourself, that which really makes you you, that by which I am that I am that who I am, that which I am, that I, that oneness, that essence is my singularity. It is my oneness which I shall only know in my aloneness. For as long as you are not truly alone, you will not have come to know thy oneness. And therefore the beginning of the spiritual path and also its end is thus, it is in aloneness. And you must learn to be completely alone. And the only purpose of meditation, of prayer, of seclusion, of fasting is this, to be alone. And you must be alone. You must be heartbroken. You must be completely alienated, estranged, isolated from the world. Only then will you be truly alone. Only in that true aloneness will you truly realize that oneness which you are, the oneness of thy being, your singularity. Know thyself, that, this oneness which is in your very center, that is your spirit. And so if you truly want God, be alone, because God is alone. God is the alone. The more alone that you are, the more that you will be with God. How beautiful. God is one, therefore be thou one, to be one with God. And thy forms are all those things which thou speakest thyself to be, long as thou speakest true. Why? Well, because that everything is one with his word. Existence is language. Everything which is speech. Not just physical speech, not just waves and sound. I mean the speech of God. Consciousness. The entire diagram and map of reality is in speech. Thou sayest, I am thus, and I am such a thing. I am such an actor. I am a man. I am a philosopher or a writer. I live in such a place. I have such things. I have a house. I am speaking right now. Everything which is spoken, bespoken. Everything which is completely and perfectly mirrored in language. Thy singularity is thy being, by which thou art. This when thou sayest, I am. The word in language which reflects this oneness and reflects this absolute singularity of thy being, that word is being. Being is God. God is being. You are your being. Thou art thy being. When thou sayest, I am such a thing. That thing is your form, but your amness is your singularity. When I say that I am, that is my unity, my singularity. For every single thing which I say of myself, which I am, comes back to I am. It comes back to the word I. That word I is singularity. It is who I am. I am that oneness. Not the things that I do, not the things which I have, not the things which I think. These are my forms, not me. The tree is not greenness. The tree is not its greenness. The tree looks green. It looks green. It has the appearance of being green. The sky has the appearance of being blue, but it's not the blue thing. It is the sky. Even if it were not blue, it would be the sky. Even if I were not any of these things which I am, if I did not do this action, I did not look this way, I looked completely different. I was born in a completely different place. I had everything different, yet I would be I, would I not? Have I not changed in my life? Am I not now so different to whom I was when I was but a boy? Are you not now so different to whom you were? right? But you are you, and I am I. And he is he, and she is she. Do not be deluded with your form. You are not your form. You are your singularity. You will only come to know this truth when you are completely alone, not just from other people, but from yourself. Do you hear me? When you are alone from yourself. When even yourself becomes a stranger to you, you are on the path of God. That which others call madness and despair and death and darkness, that is what God loves and where God hides. Therefore thou conceivest the manyness of the many things which thou art in the unity of thyself, which is the oneness within thee, and the unity of becoming, the spiritual path, enlightenment, is but to realize unity. This is it, nothing else. Every idea, every thought, every preconception, everything that you want, put it aside. Unity is the only good thing. Everything else which exists in this creation is an illusion. Because if it has come to be, so shall it go away. Whatever has come shall be gone. Shall it not? Everything shall away, but the face of God. You shall change, but only your singularity shall stay the same. Therefore, that thing which you look for it in singularity, not in form. For here is the mystery of being. Those forms that you seek, the form of yourself, the form of your perfect life, the form of your perfect house, the form of your perfect partner, the form of your perfect childhood, whatever it is that you seek, forms are born from singularity. As long as you chase forms, you shall never find them. But chase singularity, and you shall have those forms. Because from where else shall form come? When you realize the oneness of thy being, thy aloneness, God, then you will have won the world. Do you feel that? Don't let me tell you. You have to know that. If you win God but lose the world, you have won everything. If you lose God but win the world, you have lost everything. Because where does the world come from? You are but winning forms, and those forms that you have won shall be gone away. You need to have that which shall stay. For that which endureth shall give rise unto that which endureth. That which is shall give rise unto that which is. That is the deep meaning of heaven, the kingdom of God. We're not talking here about physical things. It's so much deeper than that. Though it can be physical if you chose it to be, so easily. But never choose physicality. Let it be born, but do not choose it. Choose spirit. Choose spirit. For thou art form of God. Wherefore saith he, created I man in mine image. Are you not? Every single thing is the form of God, the form of singularity. Therefore art thou singularity, for that he is the singularity of singularities. His forms therefore are singularities. Thy singularity, thy oneness, the oneness of thy being, is the singularity of God within thee. It is the Spirit of God within thee. Thy singularity is the all singularity inside of thyself. Wherefore saith he, Behold, shall I breathe my spirit into man? That is thy spirit, that the breath of God within thee. Do you hear me? Singularity, oneness, that is what thou art. But all oneness is the oneness of God. So thine oneness is the oneness of God. What you are, that essence of yours, is the essence of God. Because the truth is God. Your truth, therefore, is God. But it's your God. It's your God. It's God, but it's your God. It is spirit, but it is your spirit. Which means the spirit of God in you. Your spirit is God's spirit inside of you. Is that not everything that you want? If you realize what I am saying here, is that not everything? Really? What else is there? If you can realize that, if you can feel the Spirit of God literally breathed into you, if you can feel the breath of God, if you can breathe, receive the breath of God from the mouth of God into you, the breath of God which is pure existence, pure, infinite, powerful existence, so pure that you can take it and breathe it out into any form that you would please, that you can remake the world from the ground up in whatever form that you would please, that you can remake your form and your shape in whatever form that you would please, because that you have the Spirit of God with you. And who has the Spirit of God has everything. Is that not what you want? Is it not? The form that you want, that form of perfection, of beauty, of happiness, it comes from the form of God. It is the form of God. The form of God only from God can come, which is spirit. Therefore said I that the entire work is to find your spirit. And these are the forms of thyself which are thy flesh. Flesh. Pain and pleasure are forms. They are real forms. No one wants pain, everyone wants pleasure. But the only way to master form is to master the singularity from whence they arise, which is to attain self-mastery, which is to attain unto spirit, the breath, the motion of the spirit. And if thou art to speak, first thou sayest, I am that I am, for even so thou art. Thou art thyself, which is the Spirit of God within thee, which is the mystery of God, that he is the oneness of being, who is unto himself, and that this is thy mystery. This is the mystery of you. This is your greatest mystery, the secret of secrets, which is buried in your heart, that thou art, you are the oneness of thy being, and thou art unto thyself. Self, God, is self-conception. Singularity is self-singularity, so as it is said for God, that God breatheth, God knoweth, that God is God, so it is reflected in you, who are the form, the image of God. Therefore, when thou sayest I am, sayest thou, I am that I am. This thou art, when truly thou art alone. For that pure being of self-reflection will you be only when you are with God, one with God. And you are one with God only in the pure singularity of aloneness. Then hast thou known oneness in the unity of thyself. And that is the entire work, to realize, to reawaken, to, to remember the unity of thyself. And that process is the unity of becoming. And even as God breathed everything, the many from his oneness, so it is for you. First the one is become a twain, whence it becometh into many things. First the Spirit broodeth upon the faces of the deep, and it breatheth in the darkness. It draweth all its forms into the oneness of itself in self-conception, and it giveth out all the many forms of itself in self-perception. For verily, when spirit conceiveth itself, itself hath it perceived, and also verily, when it perceiveth itself, itself hath it conceived. Right? You, the spirit, God as absolute infinite spirit, generating all things, giving out and breathing in. Thus moveth the spirit as it stirreth amidst the self. Right now, you are generating everything that you see in front of you. You are generating your breath, your words, your thoughts, your ideas. You are generating the day. You created the day that you have lived until now. You created it. You projected it out from your seed. You projected out from the singularity of your being your entire life. It's like you are watching a movie, and you are the actor. And you are watching the theater, and you are the play itself. And you are witnessing that, and it's projected out from you, your spirit. Or is that too mind-blowing? Is that too insane to realize? Well, the entire path is insanity. This entire path is becoming insane because to be sane is to be asleep. Therefore, from thy being is thy becoming. From your singularity is the generation of your forms, when thou art first self-become. The spirit which is self-conception is in the eternal present. For now is when thou sayest, I am. Your saying I am is now. The idea of presence, of present, of the eternal now, that is exactly one and the same with being. Being is always now, never then, never was. It is now. Being is. You cannot say being was or being shall be. Being is. You are. I am. Not was, not shall be. I am now. And everything which you are, everything which you have become has happened right now. And the entire past which you are imagining right now. The entire past which you think happened in the past has happened right now. You carry the past in the present. And you can rechange the past in the present. And you can change your memories and change the past. And you can literally go back in time and change something in the present. Because there is nothing but the present. And whatever you want to do in the future, you can do right now. Right now. But you have to understand what I mean. You have to feel this with your spirit. If you do, you will know what I mean. You will know that you can go back into the past and change it. You can go into your future and you can change it. You can do something which you are going to do tomorrow or in 10 years, right now and today, if you are one with spirit. To be present is to be one in the eternal present. And that breath which you are generating, that breath of the singularity of the spirit, breathing out your seed, your principle of the spirit, breathing out, that spirit generates mind. In each moment of self-conception, in each moment of the now, when you say that I am, in each moment there is a movement of conception and a movement of perception. There is breath and there is mind. You are generating your mind. Spirit is generating mind, is generating thoughts in the same way that a tree generates its leaves. You are generating your thoughts. In the same way that a head generates its hair, you are generating your thoughts. Thought is the child of spirit. Thought is born, begotten of the spirit. And that thought which is born purely of spirit is entirely spiritual, and they are the spirit thoughts, and they are the holiest thoughts. But those thoughts which are not born of the spirit, but are born of an unholy marriage of spirit and flesh, born not of pure spirit but of the flesh, those thoughts, those fears, those desires, those lusts, and those anxieties, they are not spiritual, they are fleshly. Do you see? Spiritual thoughts are spiritual. They came from the Spirit, and they shall guide unto the Spirit. But those thoughts which arose from the body shall only lead unto the body, shall only lead unto form, shall only lead into the collapse of singularity into form, of unity into multiplicity, of harmony into disharmony. If spirit is you, your self-singularity, your self-conception and self-perception, generating your mind. Therefore, every form of the spirit is also singularity. Every thought that you have, every child of the spirit shall again have children. Every child which is begotten shall beget. Every thought which you conceive shall itself conceive. Thoughts are not just passive actors floating around in your mind, but every thought which you give rise unto shall itself give rise unto more thoughts. That is the mind. And if you do not control that, your mind will become chaotic. Spiritual thoughts shall lead back into spirit, into unity and harmony. Unspiritual thoughts shall fracture and break apart into more and more multiplicity, into more and more distraction, moving further and further into forms, further and further into lust, into flesh, into the world. And the more you do that, the more you become trapped in the world which you have created. The more that you will become trapped in this world of clay and dust and lust, and the more that you will not have the very thing that you lusted for. But the more that you are spiritual and live with the spirit and synthesize forms into singularity, the more that you will have those forms. The only way to have a form forever is to have the singularity, which is spirit. These forms of the spirit are the thought forms of thy mind, which are singularities, as were the God forms in the mind of God, so in the image thereof be thy thought forms in thy mind. Each thought form is in thine image, having been begotten in self-conception, and thy thought forms are the utmost singularities of thy mind. From them be the affirmation of all other forms. This is what we said. In each moment, the spirit is self-conceiving. The spirit conceiveth spirit. Thought gives rise to thought. It gives rise into a trail of thoughts. And there are only two directions to this. Either it leads to spirit, it leads to more and more unity, or it fractures into more and more disunity. That is all. To master the mind, to master the thought, this is all you need to know. Every other word you put to it may be helpful, but is not necessary. This is all you need. To master your being, you must master the spirations of the spirit, the generations of the spirit in thoughts. The only way to master the entire mind, the matrix of all your thoughts, is to master those principles of thoughts, the first child of spirit. It is to protect the chastity of spirit, to only give rise unto holy, spiritual, godly thoughts. From the holy marriage of spirit with spirit, the clean with the clean, the godly with the godly. But when the spirit is married with that which is ungodly, with the flesh, it is corrupted. It is impure. And the impure shall only give rise unto the impure, unless purified by spirit. So master your mind. The only way to master the mind is to master the source of the mind. So you must learn how to trace thoughts all the way back into the center. You must learn to be with spirit and to see thoughts as they well forth from the spirit. And you must learn to watch those, observe those, and nip them in the bud. It is the only way. You must learn to control thoughts as they arise, because once they have arisen, they have a life of their own, and you are no longer in control of them. These utmost singularities, which are born of thy singularity, which is your singularity of all singularities, that is where your attention must be, and that is the process of centering. Do not be distracted with your forms. Do not be distracted by the work of your hands or your eyes or your ears. Let them take care of themselves. Your body has an intelligence of its own. You do not need to focus on your body. Let your body act as it shall, for it shall then act in the most wise, the most powerful, the most beautiful way possible. Do not try to control forms. Be with singularity, and the forms shall take care of themselves. That is consciousness. This is the mystery of consciousness, the breath of thy spirit into thy mind, the breath of the spirit which wells forth into thoughts, and the unity, therefore, of all thought forms. This is a reflection. You, your mind, your spirit, if you look at it, it is a microcosmos. It is an image, a mirror image of the cosmos. Everything which you see out there, the stars, the galaxies, the Milky Way, the sun and the moon, the heavens above, the sky, rain, clouds, thunder, the earth, grass, vegetation, caves, crystals, lava, animals, worms, insects, birds, fish, the depths of the sea. Everything which you see outside is mirrored perfectly inside. You have mountains and valleys and rivers and stars and galaxies inside of you. They are the constellations, the latticework of singularity and form. Your thoughts compose a tapestry of existence. If you can look at your mind right now, you can look at all of your thoughts. You will see that your thoughts create a diagram. There are some mountainous thoughts. There are some deep thoughts. Your thoughts in every moment create a picture of the world, which are born both of the world as it comes inside of you. I look at the world. I create the world inside of myself in conception. But also, I give rise unto the world in perception. Your thoughts are influenced by the world, but your thoughts in turn also influence the world. That is what existence looks like. So if you can change yourself, you can change the world, the entire world, everything. Anything that you see outside of yourself can be changed by changing the corresponding facet inside of yourself. So if you deeply, deeply understand this principle, you will realize that the entire work is a self-work. It is a work within. That is consciousness. That is the image of the cosmos which thou art. Wherefore art thou named microcosmos. And this connection, this cosmic connection of you as microcosmos and the world as macrocosmos, this is the foundation of every spiritual science. This is the utmost foundation of every spiritual and mystical science. And now imagine like unto the blast of a great horn, from one small point, spirit breatheth and blasteth from the deep. From one point is a huge emanation, a huge affirmation, one big bang, one singularity exploding forth into every form which you see. The big bang which occurred at the beginning of time is happening in every single moment. You, right now, remember I said you really are the microcosmos. You are a cosmos which is born from your big bang, which is your spirit. And I've actually had a pen this entire time, which I have not used. But really, here you are, your spirit, and it's giving rise into all of this, right? This singularity in conception and perception is blasting outwards, right? It gives rise into a singularity, which then gives rise into another singularity, which is a form, and form, and form. This big bang is you, and its levels. Those things which come first, these are the levels of being. The first level is spirit, the spiritual level, then the mental level, and finally, the physical level. This is the entire world, and this is you. This is the picture of you. Do not worry about that which is physical. Do not worry about that which is mental. Let alone the body, you cannot change your mind. Have you ever, for one day of your life, for 1 minute of a day, been able to change your mind? Have you ever been able to grasp hold of your mind and decide what you think and what you do not think? No. Your work is here, and only here. The entire work is here with spirit, to be in alignment with spirit, and that is all. That is the entire work. And understanding this connection is everything. For thou art made in the image of God. In the image of God art thou made. In each moment in thine image art thou made. Each moment the forms project singularity. Whatever your singularity is, that will become the world. That will become you. If I am in alignment with spirit to be whatever it is, a writer, a mystic, a holy righteous man, I shall be made in that moment in the image of that intention. If that intention is completely in alignment, if every single thought form was in alignment with that. But if there are misalignments, then the image shall be made incomplete and imperfectly. All of life is a journey of perfecting imagination. When you can perfect your thoughts, the world will be perfect. And on that day, you shall die. Because there shall be no more meaning or purpose to this world, to this life, and you will be reborn anew into a new and more beautiful eternal life. That is all this world is. It is a training level to really live, to learn this, which I am teaching us. We can end here. Again, all of this which I have spoken unto you is encoded inside of language. Singularity is word, word is singularity. The forms of singularity, the world. This thy being, as thou hast in thyself be known. By spirit, I mean the singularity of thyself, that central point, the divine spark of God within thee, which is thy self-conception, in which be the formless thought forms, the seeds of all action, the seed of all thoughts themselves, those singularities born from the Spirit. By imagination, I mean that which is between that inmost singularity and the utmost extent of form. That is image word, that which is betwixt formless and informed, between spirit and matter. That is mind, that is imagination, that is thought in what we mean by thought. Mind, which is both informed and informing, and body, matter, is the utmost extent of form as it is crystallized and can no longer give rise into more form. Singularity gives rise into singularity, it gives rise into form, which is singularity, and so on, until you reach forms which can no longer give rise into forms. That is matter. That is action. Action, actually doing and enacting, is that which is done at the very utmost end of the process of becoming. The spirit generates mind, mind thoughts, all the way at the end, thoughts become action. Body is a form of that action. 'Tis the embodiment of form. All action is inaction of the image word. Every action that you do in inaction of your self-image. Everything that you do is a form of singularity, the singularity within yourself. Everything that you do, everything which you are, is begotten, it is born in the self-image of who you are within yourself in singularity. And when spirit has fully evolved into matter through this self-perception, through this generation, then it draweth back into itself what hath issued from it. All the thoughts and forms and actions which have emanated from you, you shall bring back into yourself, because you have created the world. You have created and generated the world which you see before you, and that world shall then act back against you. You act in the world will act back into you. But it's only you, right? It is only you acting upon yourself. And so you receive the fruits of your own actions. And this is not happening 10 years from now. It's happening right now. Because there is nothing but the present. And so the past can affect the present because the past is in the present. And you are carrying your memories with you in every moment. The mind is begotten of the breath of the Spirit, and the Spirit then breatheth the forms of the mind and the body back into itself. By soul, I mean this, the unity of thyself, when thy forms thou conceivest in thyself, after they are perceived of spirit. Do you see? Comprehend? Hear? This is your deepest truth and essence, which I have laid out unto you. And if you are still here, may God bless you abundantly, and open unto you the gates of the unseen, and pour into your heart and into your mind his breath, and enliven you with his spirit, and teach you the mysteries of creation, and guide you on this holy spiritual path, which is the path of return unto thyself, which you will have to truly contemplate, truly work for every single word which I have shared with you here, as must I also walk this path. But I shall return to you in the next two videos in this course, and we shall again apply this entire system, this theory, into the mind and into the body. And I look forward to seeing you in our next video. God bless you.